So what would you say would be, I guess, an action for someone listening who wants to have a conversation about sex and about money? Maybe they're not on the same page with their spouse. What would they do in this circumstance? Would they just sit down like this at a table and look their spouse in the eye and just like start a conversation? What do you think would be the best way to approach that?
I would put it in the calendar, honestly, and I would schedule a day date or an evening date or whatever it is, right? Someplace quiet, go to dinner where you're not getting interrupted. It's maybe something different, and just time block, at least 2 hours, something, and do that. Maybe it's an hour per topic or whatever current issues you guys have. And I think you kind of get on the same page, especially with money, in maybe 2 or 3 kind of categories. On the budgeting side, and I kind of think of it like as a football analogy, that's like your defensive team. Let's build our defensive team. Let's talk about, what are we going to cut from the budget? What are we, allowing ourselves to spend? And then let's talk about the next part of it, like our offensive team. How are we, trying to grow our active income? Are we trying to push towards this kind of raise, right? And if that's the case, then it kind of goes into this time management conversation of don't give me a hard time if I'm agreeing to this and I need to spend extra time at work, or if I need to pick up a side hustle, or vice versa. Mm-hmm. And then the third topic there would be more of your investment side, the retirement side, the long-term income side, the cash flow, right? Whether you decide to, hey, let's start investing in our retirement. Let's start putting money away there. Let's buy our first rental property. Let's whatever it is, but some type of future self growth in that perspective, and have kind of, if you need a template, there's 3 different conversations. Have them pretty short and just get an intro into it and get on the same page with these things. All right, so back to you. If you as the woman, the wife, are trying to get on the same page with your husband, and you know that he has clearly higher sexual needs than you, or you see that he has porn and other things like that, and you're not on the same page with that, how do you initiate that conversation to start to unpack these things?
I think it'd be similar to what you just said with time blocking it. I think that people kind of have a negative outlook on time blocking things, especially when it comes to relationship with your spouse. But I think it's important to do that because we all have busy lives. And if you are really going to make this a priority in your life, you have to time block it. And so I would approach it as, if there's something that is against like my morals and values, or something that just kind of like, I don't want to say hurts my feelings. That sounds so...
but it does.
But it does. It sounds very immature. I don't know how else to word it. I think hurts my feelings is a good way to put it. I think that I would ask you about it. I would sit down and I would say, hey, like, this is really bothering me, or this doesn't sit right with me. What are your thoughts on this? Or why are you doing this? Or what is the satisfaction in this? Or something to where I maybe can understand a deeper knowledge of why you're doing this or why you're not doing this. Or I think having the perspective of your spouse, like, because you have your own perspective of things, right? I think taking yourself out of your own self and seeing the perspective of your spouse, I think is really hard to do, but I think is necessary in this situation. And so if, your husband does need more sex, and I'm expecting him to not watch porn, but then I'm also saying that, I don't want to have sex that much, then that's so unfair to your husband. Like, that is just something that I just don't think is a good way to approach that.